What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
What's up, everyone?
And today we'd like to talk a little bit about the ESRB's decision to brand loot box. This is their fucking response to the loot box controversy, Chubbz. This is
And
how,
what a joke of a response it is.
this is how the ESRB do, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They say in-game purchases, and that applies to loot boxes, that applies to DLC content, that applies to microtransactions. It's pretty much anything you could buy on top of the game. First of all, a great point you brought up. Now, just before we get there, I'm going to be sourcing an article written by Paul Tassi. If you don't know who Paul Tassi is, I'll have links below to 6-7 different articles where he's like, I bought $100 worth of Overwatch fucking loot boxes. I bought a fucking $100 worth of this event Overwatch loot boxes. I buy fucking hundreds of dollars of loot boxes each fucking year.
Right about it.
Write about it. Make money off of my addiction and other people's addictions. And that's how I do. Okay. But the thing is, this is a really great article he wrote. I agree with him 100% of the way. Right? Well, not 100% of the way, but most of the way I agree with him. There's some parts he says I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Let's give Overwatch there's a gray area between Overwatch and Battlefield 2. Yeah, there is. It's called addiction. Because if you're willing to justify a loot box in any form, you are a loot box addict.
No matter the content you're
Don't give a
getting
fuck.
out of it.
I don't fucking care. Unless it's a loot box that you get in-game in like an RPG that's like, here's a mystery box. Which I still don't like. Because they just point to the relevancy of this like RNG-based thing. Like, I like loot drops after a hard boss. I like loot boxes. I like that sort of fucking thing.
But to an extent.
To an extent.
Loot drops is where I know what's going to drop, and I know the percentage of how often it's going to drop.
I mean, you don't know in, like, say, Borderlands 2, but I'd say the way the loot system was done in that game was great. You don't really know in, like, Diablo 3, but it's got a good loot. I don't mind random drops when it comes to loot.
Right.
I understand the appeal of that. I like that goes back to D&D.
Right.
Where, your dungeon master's rolling out your stats on your weapon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
so
true.
That sort of thing, and that's another argument that's brought up with the loot box argument is like, if loot boxes are bad, how come that's not bad? How come games like that don't have to be labeled gambling? I'm not even going to justify that. That to me that is an argument worth addressing as much as like, well, Magic the Gathering should fucking be illegal because that's random when you buy the cards. That's, Pokemon. Yeah. Look at Pokemon. I'm not even gonna address it.
Right, like there is a drastic difference between these things and loot boxes. For example, loot boxes, the whole point of loot boxes is you are spending money continually. You're not just buying the loot box system. It's not like you're giving the guy at the door of the casino $60 and then you got to walk in and pay.
And you get to play anything you want.
Game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like that.
That's the thing. That is the equivalent of, like, say, a Diablo 3 versus an Overwatch. A Diablo 3, you're buying all of those.
Right. You're paying to get in, and then it's all yours.
And people would say, like, with Overwatch, you can get the free loot box every level. I would counter that with, that's not them. Like, I don't even want to fucking talk about Overwatch. Overwatch, there's no difference to me, or Chubbz, obviously, between Overwatch and Battlefield 2. If you've watched our channel for a long time, you know our feelings on loot boxes. If you haven't, well, Overwatch is no fucking different in my eyes than Battlefield 2. Zero fucking difference. They're both putting in a system that's meant to prey upon the weak-minded, which are often kids, who are susceptible to these sort of psychological, behavioral tactics put in place specifically to resemble the poker-like mechanics of gambling.
Exactly.
Right? That's what they're there for. That's
There's
it's
psychologists
addictive.
behind
it's
this
addictive,
shit.
right?
There's psychologists working with these people.
Yes.
So,
so back to Paul Tassi though. The greatest part of this article that I think, it's not his words. His words, honestly, with me, have as much weight as, like, anyone else who was like, Overwatch loot boxes are fine. They don't affect the game at all. They're giving us free DLC and stuff. They're not bad. Fuck you, Battlefront 2! Like, I don't respect... good, like, yeah, fuck Battlefront 2, but fuck Overwatch 2, and, like, fuck you for being blind because you're addicted to one of those games, and one of the ways that in which you're delivered bullshit, air, meaningless, nothing, right? Just because you're a fan of one of those, and you, oh, I don't like that, though, that's pay to win? That's pay to win? Oh, that's all the difference, man. I don't mind when it's just skins and new shoes.
Exclusive looks.
If it's just a look, it doesn't matter. It's just cosmetic, even though the entire basis of the game is based around one thing, unlockables. It don't matter. Don't affect the gameplay, right? So that's the thing, like, I don't respect his opinion, but I respect that he's feeling the change.
Yes.
He's starting to evolve, and I'll have another article below that I really recommend you read by Paul Tassi, and it's called, let me click to that one really quick.
Yes.
It's called Hearthstone, Destiny 2, and others are curing my loot box addiction. Notice how he puts up 2 fucking Activision titles there.
Yep.
Right? Fuck Blizzard, fuck Bungie, those are Activision titles right there, okay? He's in this article, he talks about how he's starting to see the fruitlessness in these things, the futility of these things. And it's almost like hearing somebody, you know, who's addicted to, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's like reading something by someone addicted to something who's slowly starting to realize, like, what a dumbass addiction.
Yeah.
What a horrific waste of fucking money.
Oh, yeah. And
like,
then they start to spiral.
I mean, like I said, I'll have them all. I'll have them
in.
all labeled. There's 7 different articles just there, this here, where he's like, I bought a fucking $100 worth of fucking loot boxes.
Oh yeah,
right, for over
so many
during the course of like 2 or 3 years. And that's just Overwatch. He did Hearthstone pack openings.
Oh, yeah.
He did Destiny Engram openings. He did fucking openings all over the I bet you this fucker opened up Shadow of War fucking loot boxes.
And wrote about it.
Gotta pay for them fucking loot boxes
but
somehow.
Then you gotta get paid for paying
But
them.
it's the cycle. It's the same thing as like YouTubers whose channels are entirely focused on, you know, loot box openings.
Yeah.
They're making their living and then wasting money on something that's making a living for them. So, like, for them, their very livelihood depends on the success of loot boxes at that point. A lot of these people are really young.
Oh,
I'd say between 25 and under. And you look at that sort of YouTuber in his 20s, he's still a fucking kid. I don't fucking care. You fucking don't come to... It's just like, I'm still a kid, I feel like. In a lot of ways, compared to who I'll be years from now. You're constantly growing and evolving. And these poor dumb loot box channels, poor Paul Tassi, people like that, they literally paint themselves in a corner where they are banking on the success of loot boxes. Only to realize, like in that article he wrote, where it's just like, these are pointless.
They're hollow. And you
I
never
have
really
built,
noticed it.
yeah, I have built my house on a sand hill, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's talking about how much money he had spent in these games.
But we're gonna be referencing that article, and I just wanted to have I'm gonna have all of these linked below because it's important to see that sort of change in a man like Paul Tassi.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, he truly has my respect after that article. I think he's silly. I think he's kind of a joke at this point, but I can't say that there's no redemption for him. I can't say that he can come back from saying the wrong thing, fluffing up these companies, spitting the same old tired, it's only cosmetic, you know, and it doesn't matter. It won't affect the games we play.
Yeah.
We won't see a vast shift. Overwatch is just as responsible for Battlefield 2 as fucking EA is.
Oh, yeah.
Overwatch and Blizzard and Activision are just as responsible for that.
These companies are in a race with each other. They're looking at what everyone is doing.
So, basically, what the ESRB has said is in-game purchases. Like we said previously, they're covering everything from DLC, so The Witcher 3 will get the same stamp and rating as Overwatch. Makes sense, right?
That is not helpful at all.
And like what you were saying about in-game, like what?
Yeah, because if you think about it, let's break this down, vocabulary, like word by word. In-game purchases. So that to me means something like on mobile apps, in-app purchases, right? So essentially, I know that that app is not going to charge my card or make me pay something unless I open it and purchase something in the game.
Yes.
Right, because in-game purchases is the exact same thing as in-app purchases.
Yes.
If you are buying something in the game, then that is what this applies to.
Yes.
A lot of these things, though, like expansion packs for, like, The Witcher, or even, like...
DLC of any sort.
Yeah, certain things like cars in Rocket League, you know, these are purchases.
No, I would argue those are...
There are some things...
Those are in-app purchases.
Can you buy them in-game?
Yeah, you can...
Or do you have to bust out to the store?
No, you just click on it, say, I want to unlock these, and it'll fucking buy them right then and there. They're already installed. Okay, here's the thing.
It's been a while since I played Rocket League, but if that's how they changed it, then that would apply.
You want to put up a fucking game as a good example of how loot boxes can be done. There is no better example than Rocket League.
Oh, yeah.
They allow trading between players. That is it's not, they're using the psychological tricks. All right? Their loot boxes function no different from Overwatch's. But let's talk about consumer fairness. Let's talk about if these digital items don't really matter and you can't make them for money, right? Why not just let people trade them in game? Right. They don't trade them for money. These kids, there's not like there's a vast underground gold farming fucking market taking place in the bowels of fucking Rocket League.
Right.
Like, but then it's not happening.
But then it creates its own marketplace.
Yes.
So the demand for certain rare items is there because the game doesn't give you that many. And if they are there, it is like you said, in-game purchase.
Well, I know. Toxic has gotten shit in that game just because he was really good and he was a fucking respectful teammate.
And everybody's down
like,
to trade.
People give you shit for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Chris gave me like a handful of fucking skins, a couple of cars that he had gotten, not from the ones he bought, and I don't think he even spent that much. I think he threw like at a max $20 into Rocket League.
Yeah.
Right? That's after getting it for free and, playing it for fucking... Chris spends so much. Chris loves
hundreds
fucking Rocket League.
Hundreds of
Our bro Chris fucking loves Rocket League. It's because he's good enough to compete. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was good. I was decent, but not decent enough to compete. Like I wasn't good enough. Yeah. Into competitive. Yeah. And play that shit. Yeah. Like I just wasn't good enough for that shit. But the point of that is with the loot boxes there. By allowing player-to-player trading, you're not only just nurturing a good it's an
in-game economy, but it's also a move that like these only cosmetic items have more of a purpose.
I'm more likely, as someone who refuses to buy loot boxes, who hasn't bought any fucking loot boxes in any game ever in my entire life, right? Not even in a game like Rocket League or Smite that I love, Paragon.
Right.
Gave all of those games money for in-game things, but it was shit that I knew I could pick.
Right.
That I was able to decide what I fucking got.
Yeah.
Fuck your loot box system.
I don't want to buy your box.
I don't want to buy your box.
Your mystery box.
Your mystery box looks like it's on a rotting hobo. But the point is like, by doing that, I'm more likely to give you some money for a loot box.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I get something I don't want, there's not to say that someone else won't want it.
Right. And that's another thing is you can trade the loot boxes in Rocket League.
Yeah.
I see a lot of times Chris is trading with somebody. He's just giving them loot boxes and they're just forking over like skins
that they
and
don't
decals
want. Yeah,
and like
shit they don't
probably
want.
duplicates because that's another thing is you actually get duplicates of shit
and
so that you can trade them.
When you ask yourself like why is a game, and I'm not saying Rocket League is completely devoid of toxic people. Like there's plenty of little assholes playing Rocket League. But
there's
I would
assholes
say,
everywhere, man.
Dude, I remember me, you and Chris would get in a game with like a opposing team. And it would legit, like, we would just keep playing with each other. because you would just get that team that was like cool, like, you know, like good job, like good game at the end, and you'd be like, fuck yeah, I want to rematch. These guys are cool. And it'd be back and forth, winning and losing, and it was a good time. And it just felt like I never gave a shit in Overwatch unless it were my friends. And if you look at some of the toxic, just look up Overwatch toxic players, right? You'll see some nasty shit being said, awful things. And it's like, why is that community so toxic? Why is Blizzard, like, their headlines from Blizzard Activision that are simply, Blizzard is working to address the toxicity in Overwatch. Like, that's the entire fucking point of the article. They're handing out player bans for toxicity. Well, maybe it's because you've created a rat race that relies on randomness and, you know, nothing that you personally do. There's no, you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because it is just more popular than Rocket League, more players. But the point of this video, I'm sorry, I bramble out.
It's okay.
I bramble off.
But that's another thing, is toxic communities, because another thing you gotta consider is if that's a headline, like, toxic communities ain't fucking something special. Don't pretend like it ain't fucking new. You know, that ain't happened in fucking elementary school, you chumps. Didn't you ever get called a fucking fag or a dipshit? Yeah. Come on, man. There's toxicity everywhere.
It's
people
online.
Are assholes.
And it's online. And like, people are fucking anonymous.
And
like,
yeah, they're sitting behind a keyboard where they can't be touched. You know, it's easier for them to do than go out in public, because in public, you know, you might start some real shit. A real fight might you know, happen. But
that's why I have a sneaking suspicion, like, the most toxic people are probably the most quiet and centered people in real life.
Yeah.
And it's just like on video games, they're like, fuck you, you little fucking bitch. And it's like, that's how they get it out. Like, I'm gonna fucking kill this kid.
Yeah.
They just get it out there, and then later it's like, okay, I'm calm now. Like, I worked that out.
Yeah.
So toxic, but that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna say that that's. I'm not gonna say that it's okay to be angry and toxic.
But if you gotta, like,
it's not okay to be you toxic. I fucking said it, scrub.
If you legitimately have to address this as an issue and ban people because of this, why?
I don't know. But it's
like, just cut off voice communication unless you're friends with each other and through PlayStation, and then that way you take it through their control, because you can invite people through your you know, system voice chat, and then you control it. If they're assholes, you can kick them out.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of friends that play together, that play a lot of Overwatch, and it's because they're playing with friends who aren't toxic, aren't like, oh god, this has got to fucking, like, we have to win. This is the most important thing that I've ever been a part of, and if we don't win, then I hate all of you, and you're all bad. It's like, I'm sure there's people who, that's the thing, like, but there are the random people who just want to get on and play every few hours that don't have a massive group, because I think in that case you'd need 12. Right. Because it would have to be a private match. If you wanted to control all the toxicity, that it was not a level, you would want 12 chill people to hang out with. And there's definitely groups of people that have that sort of group that they can pull together.
Right.
Other people, it's not right that there's people who just get attacked for no reason. Like, by no means are we defending that.
But I feel like there's different ways to go around it. You know?
Yeah, but I think that what the major point here is that there's a vast fucking difference between a game like Overwatch and a game like The Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
I think that is a fucking chasm bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah.
And more noticeable. And these ESRB people are doing nothing.
At all.
By labeling something in-game purchases, you're doing nothing. By having a fucking obscure website where parents can go to learn better tools, you're doing nothing.
At all.
And I'm not going to say that these games should be restricted to people 21 and older.
Right.
That's what legislatures wants to do. That's what, I don't know. I don't feel that. I don't feel that that's warranted. However, I definitely think it should be M-rated. I definitely think that in the fucking description of why it has an M rating, it says simulated gambling with real life money. All right? You don't have to call it gambling, because I agree. Like, technically, it is definitely not the fucking same thing. It is
simulated, though.
Yes, it is simulated gambling that costs you real money to participate in.
Yes.
All right? And I don't care if you say, oh, but they give one away for free. Fuck them and their loophole tricks. I don't care if they're giving you one for free every fucking 10 hours of gameplay.
That's the dealer giving you a shit because you gave him so much money.
That's a comp. To get you to spend more.
Yeah.
To get you to spend, like Mr. Paul Tassi, God knows how much. On these in-game purchases.
In-game.
See, but that's the problem. If that happens, then a game like Overwatch has to be relabeled. It's going to get so much news because the game is huge, and Activision Blizzard stand to lose a lot of money and a lot of players on their servers, because that's why the fucking ecosystem is so toxic, is because you got 12 through fucking 17-year-old kids on there, right? How many times have you guys heard some little kid going off saying some fucking nasty shit that he deserves a fucking soap in his mouth for? Right? It happens all the time, okay? I'm not saying I'm like it's any better. I'm just saying they say like hateful, hurtful shit. Like, okay, yeah, I swear. But I don't I feel like it's
from
intent.
A different place.
Yeah, I feel like it's the intent behind words that matter.
They're not as knowledgeable about
and they're not able to discern that.
At all.
And that's if that happened, if the teen rated Overwatch had to be re-rated M17, it hurts Blizzard Activision and ultimately hurts the ESRB, since they're obviously at this point in the publisher's fucking pocket.
Well, these rating organizations, they're just a joke. I mean, I have issues with the movie rating systems because it's like a group of parents who are supposed to be there who are gonna shed wisdom on the other parents so that they know like what movies are safe for your kids but what movies are only adult, you know, but they're like full of shit and breaking their rules all the time.
It's corruptness.
The
It's
ESRB
all about money
now shows that they're just fucking dumb because they don't understand simple English vocabulary. Something like in-game purchases and DLCs where, you know, if I want to buy the Witcher expansion, I have to quit the game. I have to close out of the game. I cannot go in-game and buy them. I have to close the game. I have to go to the store.
Even if you could, there is a difference between going in, picking something out, buying what you want, and going in and buying a dice roll.
Yes.
There is a fucking vast difference there.
And it just does nobody favors. It just fucks it up on the
wide
spectrum.
This will not inform parents. We're always talking, this is the parents' decision. This is the parents' fucking problem, right? Like, they're the ones letting their kids play these games. They're the ones letting kids fucking, you know. And I'm not going to say that there's no shitty parents. There's some fucking definitely self-centered, stupid motherfucking individuals that could give a fuck less about what their kid is doing because their kid isn't them, and so it no longer fucking matters. I'm not saying that those people don't exist. I'm just saying that the likelihood is that also that exists in this group of parents that's their fault, blah, 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 are people who are just completely ignorant of all of this. Okay? Battlefield 2, or Battlefront 2, the best thing about that is that it did get, like, national attention.
Yes.
It got talked about on a lot of big news programs. Parents were starting to see this and go, what? Pay to win? And that's like, but the thing is Overwatch has existed for what? Over 3 years now?
Right.
Right? Team Fortress 2, how many years? CSGO, CS Lotto, all that bullshit that went down.
For years.
How long has this been going on? And no one's done a fucking thing about it.
Parents haven't known until just now.
After this fucking fat, greedy machine that is AAA publishers has finally pushed this fat, greedy fucking snowball, it's now just starting to be noticed. And it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying you can't just now be like, oh, well, in-game purchases. Because parents are dumb.
You see, and
parents are dumb, so in-game purchases. That is essentially what the ESRB said.
Yeah, I just think it's like all a way to divert away from the actual issue, because if you just throw umbrella over all of these things, like in-game purchases.
I like what Paul Tassi said. It's a punt. It's what it is. It's a punt. Because it's them going, okay, well, here's something. Here's something.
You guys cried about it long enough.
I've used this fucking analogy before, but literally, it's like a dude walking down the street and someone runs up and cuts off his arm. Then another dude runs up and cuts off his other arm. And then he loses a leg. And then another leg. And he's bleeding out. And he's probably got minutes to live. And the ESRB will run up and throw a Band-Aid on him. It's good now. Okay?
We fixed it.
Is that okay, boss? Because this is the thing. There's legislators getting involved. There's laws happening. If they fucking don't even do it with an M17, if they really do this adults only rating that's 21 and up, can you imagine how fucked games like Overwatch are?
Oh yeah.
How big do you think their player base would be then? If it was 21 and up, how many people do you think would really like? I think most mature people who like, because I see a lot of good in Overwatch.
Right.
I'm not dumping on that game's mechanics or the way it works. It's well polished. It looks great. It's very fucking, it's a great game. I'm not gonna bash the game because I've seen friends stream. I've seen channels stream. I've seen people playing it and been like, yeah, this looks fun, especially competitive play. Like the video Toxic gave me for my What the Fuck Happened to Blizzard Entertainment video, right? He had like dialogue in it and his friends were all talking back and forth. It was funny as shit. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, okay, so I understand like the good time you can be had there. But how many people have like been like, all right, I've got like 200 hours in this, bye. I'd say most people who have done that are over the age of 21. And I think that their fucking drop-off would be insane.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it's not happening. I mean, you want to talk about big dogs. Let's talk about big dogs. Activision Blizzard are the biggest dog in the fucking room right now.
Oh, yeah.
So when you look at the ESRB's motives and you know who's pulling the strings behind them, just look at the biggest company and understand that they also have the most to lose.
Oh, yeah.
If this goes the way it goes, how many fucking players would Destiny have if it got a 21 and over only rating? The game would be dead as fuck, dude. Right?
Oh, yeah. It would definitely drop a huge majority. I'd say, like, out of these games, the drop-off, if they went adult only, I'd say only, like, 1/4 of the player base would be around for
almost all of them.
Yep.
If the ones like that are loot boxes with fucking whatever to win advantages. Most of the adult loot box addicts are playing other sorts of games, man.
Oh yeah.
They're playing like free to play MMOs. Like those are cleaning up. Free to play, fucking like dude, like most people who are older, they want a little more complex of a thing than just run and shoot.
Yeah, they want
run and shoot and use these two abilities in an ultimate. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's a bad game. I'm just saying at a certain point it's going to get stale. Right?
Especially with
any life after that gamer has in that game is gonna, I guarantee you, be because of friends. Like I had a lot of time in Destiny past that point where I hit like, this is stale. This is so
and
fucking...
it was because you were playing it with friends.
Yeah.
Doing raids and nightfalls.
Yeah, playing with Jeff, playing with Toxic, playing with Ghost, fucking those dudes. Like, But even that ended badly because, like, I just couldn't play with Ghost anymore because he always bitched. When anyone got anything, Ghost bitched. You didn't even do anything, man. I was fucking over there. I was going to work,
Where's
bro.
my Gallarhorn?
Where's my fucking shit? I don't even fucking get anything in this game. And I liked Ghost. But that part of Ghost drove me fucking so crazy, I couldn't even fucking play Destiny with him anymore. That's why I love Toxic. Toxic had his fucking mic shut off. Right? And that was it. And then I fucking was talking shit, and then Toxic came in and started talking shit. Some rando raid group on Raid. I swear I met him through Raid Finder group.
Right. Like the looking for raid.
Yeah. But... Roach was awesome. Roach was fucking cool to play with, man.
Oh yeah.
And that was the thing. Like that was a huge portion of the life of Destiny for me, was playing with friends. But I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, this is just so shallow. Like, let's go play something else.
The same idea. Just eventually we got done with it. And then what was funny is when we played Destiny 2, I was like expecting maybe a little bit of a variety until like it was downloading and I was Googling research like what did they actually bring over from Destiny 1, and it was literally the same classes, no variety, the same exact races, no variety, and the same cookie cutter tree spec. So
Yep. They like dumbified it down even more than the shallowness that was Destiny 1.
So it was just like,
And if you notice, guess how they're adding depth to the game, Chubbs?
how?
By turning it into Destiny 1 again.
Jesus Christ.
Proving our call that if you bought Destiny 2, you were just buying Destiny 1 all over again.
Yes.
Let alone they're reintroducing exotics. Fan favorite exotics coming back to Destiny.
We took them out so we could bring them back.
4 12-year-olds just prematurely ejaculated and no one else gives a fuck, Bungie. Sorry. No one else fucking cares. But that's our video on this completely worthless ESRB move. It's obvious as fuck who's
Behind it.
yeah.
Because
Whose motives are being served. That's the phrase I was
Who-
searching for.
who has the most to gain? You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
That's what you have to look.
By-
Who has the most to lose? Too?
Yeah, too. Because you throw this giant umbrella over all these things, and then you like throw up some little tiny site that's talking about what loot boxes are and like the truth about it, you know, for parents, because parents don't know. Like the ESRB even went to parents and said the majority of them didn't even know what a loot box is. So it's like this is
It's
just
like they're
another
dumb.
form of misinformation.
They're just dumb.
Because they know
their
that the
basic
majority
thing.
of parents aren't going to go to that website. A majority of parents aren't even
Well,
going
you
to know.
gotta ask yourself, how did they ask the question of loot boxes? How did the parents respond to loot boxes?
Right.
Because they said the parents who knew what they were really didn't know what they were. They were
Right.
just acting like they did. And it's like, well, what's your study?
Yeah.
Who are your case studies? Who's running the study?
Right.
What's going on?
What are the statistics and numbers behind these things? Because those
Or
are the
are you
things that we
just
can
talking
look at.
bull?
It's all
Bull. That's how the ESRB do, boy.
Yep.
Thank you for your meaningless wet fart of nothingness. Everyone else, we love you. Till next time, keep being awesome. Stay safe, stay smart. Hope you enjoyed this video. Chubbs,
Goodbye, everybody.
we'll talk to you on another bull episode of Fuck Us. What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
What's up, everybody?
And today we would like to be talking. We would like to be talking. No.
We would like to be talking.
We would like to be talking. All right.